Yes, it's a Wednesday, it's a midweek hump, and it's hashtag time again. Congo fire blazing it tonight across Africa. Wow, we have a power slide show lined up for you tonight with a motorsports flavor. But before we start our engines and introduce our guest, yes, guess we have two incredible drivers here tonight who are going to fuel up and get ready to start. But it's a big welcome to Zito.
Vroom, vroom, vroom. Let's go. How are you?
Vroom, 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 vroom. That's how I am. I'm vroom, vrooming the whole night.
But Arthur, before we even continue, you didn't know what midweek hump is? How?
Yes, so I figured out what midweek hump is, and I think Zito's going to tell me later on the show.
That is incredible. I'm never going to let that go. But make sure that you stay part of this conversation. Follow us on all our social media platforms, from Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course, the World Wide Web.
Yes, www. Yes. Right, so enough motorsport puns from me. Let's get the show revving.
Rev. Vroom, vroom.
Are we sure it's revving?
It's revving, honey.
All right. I'm definitely going to keep it revving tonight. But it's a warm welcome to Tessa Whittock and Jason Webb. They're in Johannesburg, South Africa for the Monster Gymkhana Grid happening this Saturday at Carnival City.
Incredible.
Welcome, the tire burners.
Hello.
What's up, Tessa? What's up, Jason?
All
Nice
good,
to meet
man.
you
All
guys.
good.
Yeah, you've had a rad week. I definitely want to expect that you have a rad week, especially building up to this weekend's great event.
Yeah, definitely.
Indeed.
Very excited.
Lovely.
It's been a long
Excited.
week.
So, hey, you know, Africa, that the hashtag is Kwese Sports on all our social media platforms, as we've got the motor drivers in the hashtag couch tonight. So 2015 was your last championship, right? How did that go?
Yeah, so 2015 was my last championship before the one this year.
Yeah.
2016, I broke my leg in the beginning of the season.
Ooh.
So we missed out on the first event, and basically...
That must have been painful. How did you recover from that, Jason?
You won't actually believe. I actually, the way I broke it, I actually tripped over a little sliding door rail and fell with my patella straight onto tiles, and it just shattered my patella. So we missed the first event, and it wasn't really worth it doing the rest. Took a gap, went to Gatville, and went and drove for my first time in Europe, which was really cool.
Yeah, that must have been lekker.
Yeah.
Nice. So where in Europe did you go?
All over. We actually did a event called the Road to Gatville before the main event at Gatville.
Okay.
So we met the team in Rotterdam, and we drove all the way from Rotterdam in the Netherlands to Norway, which was really cool, going through Germany, Sweden, and it was unbelievable.
Wow, so motor drivers go through so much. I mean, you'd only think that it's the likes of Mo Salah or Caster Semenya or even tennis players that go through injuries. But you know what? I know there's someone who's also tough on this hashtag couch. Girl power with Tessa. Hey.
Hello.
What's up? What's going on?
Lots. And
Yes.
it's been a busy week, but I'm very much looking forward to hitting the track this week.
Yeah. How is Gymkhana different to Formula One and any other motorsports across the globe?
Well, this is actually my first Gymkhana grid, so it's very different from drifting,
Wow.
I would say.
So the expectations are definitely high and pressure on your shoulders to win.
Oh yes, definitely.
Are you expectant of victory anyway?
I would love to, and you've got to aim for the moon and catch a star. So.
Ooh,
I like
aim
that.
for the moon and catch the stars. See what you guys say there.
Well, so now you have a bigger support system now. You've got a bigger team. Do you think that it has helped you get better and get shaped up for this competition that's coming through on Saturday?
Yeah, I'd say I've got lots of friends and family who are supporting me from back home because obviously it's the UK.
Yeah.
My car's been shipped out, so I haven't seen it for a month, and it was the first time today.
How did it feel?
Oh, it's so nice to see my baby back.
Does your baby have a name?
No, she doesn't really.
Okay.
She doesn't really. She is a she, though.
Okay, that's a good thing. Go power.
Fantastic. There's so much pressures on being a female in a male-dominated industry. Do you feel that pressure, and how did you overcome that?
I would say there is a little bit of pressure, but I've always pushed myself to do what I want to do, and it's important to me, and I've got a passion, the same passion as the lads, so I think they respect me for it as well. So
nice. Respect. You earn respect in motorsports, Jason, don't you?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
It's not just about where you come, but also how your attitude is in the paddock and all that, and how you are towards the other drivers, you know? You must always have a good, positive attitude and just be yourself and have a good time.
Oh, fantastic. Speaking about having a good time, what's your highlight been this season so far?
Oh, my year actually started off amazingly well. Monster Energy sent myself and a few of our other athletes, Nick Hamilton, Bagsy, Dimitri Iliak, Luke Woodham, on a boot camp to Finland. And we spent a week in Finland and just drank a lot and snowboarded quite a lot and had a good time at doing a Gymkhana event up there, which I also managed to win.
Oh, managed to win.
So, like, you work with your dad. He's your mechanic. What is it like to be with your dad and just, you know, work together?
It's amazing. You know, you always hear of, I mean, I'm in the motor industry, and you always hear of customers that come in, they always want to do, like, father-son restorations on cars and stuff. And I get to live my dream with my dad by my side, and I wouldn't want to have it any other way, you know. And he's so he's so clever in his head with suspension set up and all that, that I wouldn't want anyone else, and me and him make a really good team together.
Is he the one who introduced you to all this? Or?
Yeah, he got me in the trouble.
Okay, so just do it, I didn't.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, your car is an absolute beast. Have you managed to tame it?
Not quite. I was actually struggling to see over the beast bonnet today, and I actually had a few penalties in qualifying. But yeah, nothing.
Hey, congratulations, by the way, you qualified, right?
Well, tomorrow the rest of the field qualify, and then we'll know where all the seedings are.
Oh, difficult times, eh?
Tessa's on tomorrow.
Don't worry, Arthur is a clairvoyant, so he's seen it. It's going to happen.
Indeed, indeed.
Brilliant.
The level of mental concentration that goes into the kind of stuff that you're involved in must be something that you've got to get used to and familiar with week in, week out. Tessa?
Yeah, I'd say it's a mental state that you've got to try and figure out, really, and to calm yourself down. I never used to be the calm person, really, but behind the wheel. My poor other half, he used to get a lot of...
Struggle with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, and Gymkhana helped with that. I mean, just also the ability to go through the obstacle course and to remember the different maneuvers and the techniques, you know, that really go into executing that plan. Talk us through that.
Oh, well, this is the thing. I haven't actually done grid before, so this is what I'm now teaching myself. And because watching some of the guys on track today, it's very, very different to what I'm used to. So it's me going out tomorrow, getting the practice, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll qualify well.
Ooh, qualifications must happen indeed. So, yeah, loving this conversation on motorsports.
So good. I'm actually tempted. I want to just be part of it. I want to just check it out. I've never been actually enticed by it, but speaking to you guys, I'm like, okay, this is something I'd like to try out.
Oh yeah, can't wait to test it out with Zitlo. 2017 saw the first Gymkhana grid staged at Carnival City. Let's take a listen to founder Ken Block and get his take on the sport. Rally legend Peter Solberg talks about his young son Oliver, and Bagsy, as always, has the final say.
But, you know, I think that these types of motorsports are a bit more accessible to most people, being able to get so up close to be able to see the competition that we're doing, like last weekend at the World Rallycross, and then here at this little venue this weekend. You know, I think the fans are going to be able to see a great form of motorsport and be able to see it very close up. Yeah, that's one thing about Gymkhana, that, you know, it's meant to be a cheaper motorsport. It's meant to be more of a grassroots type motorsport. So, you know, there's no door-to-door contact. It's a smaller course. It's much more about technical driving. So the thing that we're burning up the most is tires. So luckily I have a lot of Toyota tires with me that I'll be burning up this weekend, and that's part of the fun. But it really is a great way for you know, drivers to be able to compete without spending the big budgets that you would in the WRC or Formula One or that sort of racing.
Sure, but he is cool with it. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, good fun and stuff. You know, I would have been scared to death, you know, to not even have practice or tested or have a plan with it. But I think kids, they just go with the flow. But he's loving what he's doing, and it's not easy to come after a father that have had that success in the career. But I've seen now that his speed in a four-wheel drive, 600 horsepower, rally, everything is no problem at all. And we have done some tests together, and we're doing exactly the same times. and now it's just to build on experience, crash few more times, and learn pace notes and stuff like that. So I think he will have a great event. It will going to be a hard competition, so I think go in and have fun, but he's putting a lot of pressure on himself, so we will see.
So Gymkhana Grid obviously is backed by Monster Energy, which is one of our big sponsors, and they're very keen to involve all their drivers in this event. So you know, we're very blessed that Monster brings us to this event. You know, we're keen to come, and it's about coming here and trying to be competitive, but at the same time having a lot of fun.
Oh, wow. Getting excited for the big event happening in Carnival City. Very, 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 very excited for that indeed. What's your day job, guys?
Oh, well, at the moment, I'm a fiberglass technician.
Wow.
Fiberglass technician.
Okay.
Wow.
Yes.
And you loving it?
So,
Enjoying it?
yeah, it's very good. It's very different to what I used to do. I used to be in London, worked on a trade floor, everything like that, but I moved to the Midlands and actually getting more involved in the motorsport world, so which I very much more enjoy.
Enjoying the world of motorsports, but the importance of sponsorships holds a very high place in this industry, Jason.
Yeah, definitely. Without them, we wouldn't be where we are today, you know. I don't think without any of my sponsors I would be here. So, you know, I'm very fortunate to have the sponsors I do have. I do have very, very big sponsors, and in the sports in South Africa, it's really good to have big brands behind me.
All right, a few experts in the world of motorsports have spoken in particular on how this is more closer to a grassroots level, and based on that, the funding for this kind of motorsports is not as drastic as greater events. Do you agree?
Yeah, in a way, it still costs a fair bit of money. Our tyres that we run are really expensive. It's not just normal street tyres. So, I mean, but one tyre is costing $3,000, so it's each lap you do is costing a lot of money. So, but I mean, it's still a lot more achievable than some of the other sports out there, you know?
Yes.
All right, great. Loving chatting to Jason and, of course, Tessa. Remember, you can get in touch with us on social media, get those opinions, those questions on, and we'll definitely read them right here on the show. Coming up, Formula One season finds the checkered flag. Formula 3 driver makes a huge recovery, and more from our special guests. Welcome back to hashtag Kwese Sports right here on a Wednesday evening. And oh my goodness, I wonder if I would actually challenge you to that, Zisho, because, yeah, I don't know if you've got your adrenaline rush pumping now since you're sitting next to Jason.
I mean, I'm a bit shaky right now because I'm super excited, but that was such a graceful fall. Did you see that?
Great fall. How about like breaking your bones?
But like, it was so graceful. If that was you and I would be gone.
But Tessa, there's just also this general perception that adrenaline rush just means that you're someone that can really take the pain and someone that can take the fall. Can you take the pain on the fall, guys?
Oh, yeah. You have to. You've got to.
All right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Jason?
I've hurt myself pretty bad and not known until the adrenaline's worn off that, I'm actually quite hurt now.
Does it motivate you to get back into motorsports? Does it motivate you to go again week in, week out and still do what you love?
Yeah, you can't replace that feeling.
All right. Well, you can't replace that feeling. I tell you what, there's nothing that takes away from having these two great superstars here on hashtag more motorsports action, Z.
Absolutely. Now, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix was an eventful way to end the Formula One season. Here are some of the highlights from the day. Now, the first one, which is amazing, was Will Smith fake kidnapped Lewis Hamilton by tying him up to a chair before the race, which sparked some well-deserved comedy on social media. Take a look at this. Hilarious.
Will, bro, this ain't funny.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
No, this ain't funny, man.
It's all good. Listen.
I'm gonna race in 10 minutes.
Listen, Lewis. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for me, man. I know I feel good you invited me, and no, you already won. Dude, you already won. Oh, wait, need something for, listen. You ain't even fit. You black, I'm black, ain't nobody gonna know the difference. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hey, I'm sorry, Louis. I gotta do it. You better win!
So I turned 50 this year, and I decided I was going to do everything that I wanted to do.
We've got a lunatic on the track. That is absolutely unbelievable.
Don't you just love Will Smith? Now, despite Smith's kidnapping attempts that certainly distracted Hamilton's regular pre-race preparations, he achieved his 5th championship with his 11th win of the season. Now, the much-anticipated introduction of the halo this season had tongues wagging in Abu Dhabi when Renault driver Nico Hülkenberg's car flipped over on the opening lap. Finally, Fernando Alonso made his last planned appearance for Formula One, and it didn't end smoothly, with Alonso cutting the track 3 times, and lucky for him, he wasn't given a black flag in his last race. That was so close, hey? But let's just talk about Hamilton. I mean, how brilliant was he? 2018 was his year.
Oh, man, I just see him every year as he's here.
I know, right?
He's such a machine behind the wheel. He's so consistent and, such a great driver.
Proud on your end?
Of course,
yeah?
naturally. Yeah, being British.
Big up to Mr. Hamilton. But guys, the record is Michael Schumacher and 7 championship titles. Can he go that far?
Yeah, he'll get there.
You reckon?
Yeah, for sure.
In the next 2 years?
I'm sure he'll do it. He's got the best team in the world, and he's probably the best driver in the world, so he'll do it.
Yeah.
All right, on that note, looking at Gymkhana, who are the icons in Gymkhana?
Oh,
who would you say?
I think definitely Luke Woodham's one of the icons, being, 5-time champion?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
I mean,
4 times, and he's 5th if he wins this one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Will he win this one?
Nah. Everyone's got a target on him, so a lot of pressure's on Luke. So, but he does hold his head well, and he is a really good driver as well.
Very, very good.
So we'll see tomorrow how he does in qualifying.
Now, one of the introductions for this year's Formula One was bringing in the halo, right? And it was clearly spoken about because of what happened to Nico Hülkenberg's car.
Yes.
Now, observers were complaining about it and say that, it was probably the reason why it took him so long to be extracted from the car. Do you think it was a problem?
Yeah, I mean, if the car caught on fire, there could have been a much bigger problem, I mean, the halo is there to save people. We saw it in the crash in Macau with the lady, Sophia.
Yes.
So, I mean, the halo is good, but they obviously need to still work on it a bit and maybe get better response time to the scene, which you can't really do while the race is on, so...
Yeah. Love that answer. You've got the right guys here. Give us a better understanding of course, the safety that goes behind, motorsporting. With drifting, how have the cars modified, in particular, also just similar to Formula One with the halo? Are the safety measures better? Do you feel safer in the cars, Tessa?
Yes, we do, definitely. We have a whole fabricated cage that is spec'd for a FIA, isn't it? Spec'd. So that's a necessity, and because we're door-on-door action when we go against each other, and you may have people touch you, and if you haven't got the door bars, which is in the cars, then you might run more risk of getting hurt.
Wow, getting hurt. I mean, does it never cross your mind that, you might never get out if you get involved in a crash?
Oh, I don't think it. I've never really had that play on my mind, to be honest. I'm having fun doing what I'm doing, and if it does happen like that, it happens. I'm smiling, man.
You're living the dream,
Definitely.
All right, so Sophia Flores vowed to return to the scene for her horror F3 crash while wearing a neck brace in a defiant press conference. The German racer, who is only 17, cheated death last week when she crashed into the photographer's platform at 170 miles per hour in Macau. Flores was forced to undergo a grueling 10-hour surgery to repair her broken spine and remove a bone splinter dangerously close to her spinal cord. But a little over a week later, she addressed the media as she bravely promised to continue chasing her dream. And bravely relieved the sickening moment, saying, "I think the video says it all, to be honest. It was my first ever big crash and it took me some time to get over it, but I am over it now." Crashing is part and parcel of any motorsports.
It certainly is.
That was horrible.
Horrible, right?
Yeah, I got goosebumps watching that
me too.
again.
Like, it's
man.
crazy.
And I mean, motorsport is about pushing the limits, though. So it's pretty difficult to kind of eliminate crashing from motorsports.
Yeah, I've written off a fair few cars in my career so far. Definitely, but nothing serious. You know, our cars have so much safety aspects to them. You know, with our seat belts, our seats, our cages, and everything. It's not really a possibility that we would get hurt, especially the speeds we do as well. But there's always a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about that, the modifications as well that's done on the car, doesn't that add to the risk of a greater danger?
There's a potential to that, definitely. But I mean, over in Europe, I've gone into a corner at 120, 130 miles an hour. So that's the risk you're running.
I know.
That's 200 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's epic, and you just want more of it, and you do push past those limits.
But where does this come from? I mean, in any motorsport, you have to back yourself as a driver. Surely it's something deeply embedded.
Yeah.
You've got to have a screw loose.
I guess it's that will to win. Like, I hate seeing my name when it's not on that #1 spot. I absolutely hate it.
Wow.
Even though I'm in a sport that Gymkhana is not really like my sport, but I'm supposed to be a good driver. If I'm a good driver, I should be good in every sport that I got a steering wheel in my hand, you know, which is what I always tell myself. And I'm so hard on myself by always trying to be #1.
Yeah.
So I guess it's that competitiveness in all of us, you know.
Definitely.
Even when we play like little simulator games against each other, it's like, oh no, we're just doing it for fun. And then meanwhile, like, why are you doing it?
Love that, Jason. I mean, you know, speaking about that big weekend coming up in Carnival City, just how much do you really want to test it, Jason?
Oh yeah, to come out on my first go of doing Gymkhana Grid, to take P1 would be incredible. Really
The only female?
Yes, only female.
Only female on the grid as well.
Wow. Greater pressure, surely.
Yeah. Nothing. Nothing.
Piece of cake.
With that being said, what would you like to say to all the women out there who are thinking about getting into motorsport, and if they have any, you know, just limitations and fears? What do you have to say to them?
I would say definitely grab the bull by the horns, as it were. And if you've got a passion for something, go ahead and see whether you can go out on track with others and friends, or to be taught as well, because there might, I don't know whether in South Africa, but in the UK, we've got lots of opportunities to practice and to actually learn from, say, myself and other qualified drivers, as it were. So,
how did you get into drifting? Like, just really, you know?
Really quick. I went to a Santa Pod. It was like a Japanese day, and I saw smoke and tyre noise and everything.
When was this?
This was when I was about 14, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so fairly young. And my dad actually said to me, do you want to go in this drift taxi? Yes, that looks incredible. So need to go and do this. And literally, as soon as I sat in that passenger seat and we took off from the line, I was like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do.
Nice.
Wow. Jason, last words to your competitors ahead of Saturday. Putting you on the spot, brother, man.
Woo. Get the look.
There's your camera. There's your camera.
Give it to them.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely going to give it all out. The thing is, we got Daigo Saito here as always. She's an incredible driver. But we're going to give it out all. And my car is pretty well set up now. My dad's actually still working on it probably to try to get faster. But yeah, we're going to do our best, and I'm really hoping for that top spot.
Oh my goodness, why do we always run out of time on the best show in the world?
I know.
Tessa, but before I say goodbye, Tessa, I've got to know if you're going to win it. The only woman in the tournament.
I want to win it. I want to win it, definitely.
Are you going to win it, though?
Well, I hope so.
She's already
All right,
a winner
lovely.
because she's the only woman there anyway, so you're good.
All right, well, girl
Thank
power
you.
all the way,
Thank
because you
you.
get the blessings from the Quesified Queen and, of course, the rest of the Quesifiers here on hashtag. I can't believe we are out of laps. Yes, the checkered flag is out and we are out of time. Tessa and Jason, all the best for the weekend.
Yes,
thank you very much. Thank you for having
Sports
us.
will be there covering all the action. Zitlo, been fabulous.
Always a
haven't
good
you?
time, but today was even better.
Yeah.
So much better. I mean, God, these guys.
Yeah, of course.
Should we ask for anything more?
Yeah, anything more, right? Oh, love it, love it, love it. So, Africa, there you have it, Wednesday night. Definitely not the same. 30 minutes of your life has changed because you know what? Quesified people know how to do it like that. From myself and the rest of the hashtag team, I'm out of puns. See you all next week. À toute l'Afrique qui nous suit. À la prochaine.
Bye.